Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe. Welcome to another episode on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. So this week, we're going to be talking about trusting your gut and intuitive decision strategies. I'm going to ask you guys, do you trust that little voice that you sometimes hear within you? Or do you question it and jump into your head and try to analyze what that was all about and try to figure it out? Or maybe you had this inkling about, I should be doing something, and you chose to ignore that and do something else, and later regretted the fact that you didn't listen to yourself in the first place. Well, let me tell you, that is your intuition speaking to you. And it's really your innate, sovereign secret sauce, if you want to call it. It's the wisdom that you carry within yourself that makes the right choices for you, not your neighbor, not your spouse, not your children, not your parents, but for you. And I think for many people, we have been duped into believing that we shouldn't listen to that because it has no knowledge. And I just want to back up a little bit because I think a lot of times in our societies and our cultures, we have been led to believe that what's outside of ourselves has all the answers. When in essence, what that is, it's a way to control the masses and manipulate people into doing what they want to do versus what is correct and right for us. Okay. And I feel right now in humanity's evolution and our ascension process of what a lot of us are going to, we are waking up to the fact that what is on the outside is no longer in alignment with what we kind of are feeling, or that inkling that suspicion that something's off. That's when you need to start listening to that. Some people call it that spiny sense, or that gut feeling, or higher wisdom or intuition. They're all the same thing, but lean into that and start learning to explore that, and also learning to trust the information that's coming through. And like I said, it's not, this is the information that is essential for you and your next steps on your path in this lifetime. Not your neighbor, not society, not your family member. It's for you because you're uniquely yourself and you're on your own journey, just as everyone else in your circle is on their own journey as well. So, when we talk about intuition and stuff like that, so many times people want to ignore their intuition. They often want to ignore their intuition because, like we said, we get that intuitive hit and then we second guess ourselves. We're in our body, we get that divine download, and then we pop into our head and try to analyze and figure that out, and what does it really mean, and we get out of the flow of what is innately our wisdom. So it's almost like when we go into rational thinking, we try to figure out logically what that means and how that's going to happen. And I think today you could probably throw out the rational thinking because a lot of it is just not applicable to what we are all going through in this time and place. A lot of times you don't listen to your intuition because you have this fear of being wrong. It's like you're second guessing yourself. And it's almost like you have this fear of making mistakes. So if those of us who are perfectionists, maybe this applies to you. And it's important to know that um, when we second guess ourselves, it's like we're not trusting ourselves and we're not trusting what's coming through. So that's another thing to look at, and probably for another conversation on the Dr. Dolores Show. You never know. So, also, another aspect that probably prevents people from trusting their intuition or their gut feelings is what our society deems as normal or appropriate. Who made those rules up? Seriously. Um, Societal norms in education often emphasizes the importance of reason and evidence-based decision making, potentially leading people to undervalue their intuitive insights. It's almost like by doing that, you are giving your power away to something outside of yourselves, and simply it's like they're trying to dummy you down. So you don't trust what the information that you're getting, and you don't question what the external is doing. Okay. A lot of times we ignore our intuition because we lack confidence. Um, and sometimes we become victims, meaning that we don't think we are capable of listening to our intuition. So we have to rely on something outside of ourselves to make that decision for us or to give us insight. Maybe you've had previous negative experiences when you trusted your gut. Um, Sometimes that can happen, but I would say the majority of the time, you could probably label that as something not the right thing to do, but in essence, maybe it was because it led you to where you needed to do. It was almost like a stepping stone to lead you to what you needed to do next. Okay. Um, so, our description of what we label as negative or positive might have been really a stepping stone gift to get you where you needed to go. Sometimes what leads us to not trust our intuition, if you're not in a real good emotional state, maybe you're really stressed or anxious, or you're going through a lot of stuff right now where you feel like you're in the spin cycle of a washing machine cycle where everything is like flying around you and you can't really grasp what's going on. It's like when your emotional state is really chaotic, a lot of times you're not very grounded. So the important thing is to make sure that you do things that are going to allow you to ground into your body. Because when you ground into your body, you are actually more present than you were a moment before when you weren't grounded in your body. Grounding into your body is as simple as taking a deep breath and closing your eyes and allowing that air to fill up your entire body. And just maybe even imagine you have roots coming from the bottom of your feet, just going into the ground and anchoring your energy and your physical body into the earth. Okay. Mother Earth is just an amazing nurturer. And when we do that, she embraces us and allows us to be fully present in the moment. Sometimes we are trying to control situations. So if you find that you are a control fiend, a lot of times you're going to ignore your intuition because you want to make something happen on your terms. And I think the big cosmic joke is that when we do that, it's like we put blinders on. And when we have horses that have blinders, so they just see right in front of us, we're just seeing one possibility and trying to control it and make it happen that certain way. Whereas if we took those blinders off and we could see in our periphery the possibilities of more. So I think the big joke too sometimes is like, we tell God how, or we tell source or higher self how it has to be, when in essence we rob ourselves of the unlimited possibilities of potentials that are possible for us to access and actually maybe get to our end product or our goal in a different fashion that may even be easier. So I invite you to just take the blinders off and relinquish your control and just allow yourself to land back in your physical body when you feel like you're going down that rabbit hole of, oh, I got to figure this out. And, it's like trying to control it. No, pull yourself back, pull yourself into your body, ground yourself, and just be with what is and not try to figure it out. Just explore what that is. And I know for many people, that's going to be a giant step, and it's a necessary one. For when you do that, you're going to really be able to tap into that innate wisdom that is your birthright, but it's also the right blueprint for where you are going with what you choose to create in this life. I think sometimes people give their power away to something outside of themselves for validation, because sometimes you feel like this is what's happening A, B, C, and D, and you know that, but sometimes you have that little self doubt. So you seek validation outside of yourself. Maybe you go talk to a friend, or you listen to somebody else's wisdom instead of really checking in and really looking at who you are and what you are wanting to accomplish. And, I think a lot of things that go hand in hand with that are just like overthinking. And that's another reason why people ignore their intuition, because they kind of talk themselves out of it. That's when you're in your body, you get that intuitive hit, and instead of just allowing it to be, you just pop out of your body into your head, and that chatter's going, and you're trying to analyze and overthink it and try to make sense out of something that sometimes might not make sense to you in that exact moment. But that's sometimes how we have been programmed and wired to deal with things. So this is going to be a stretch for some people to look at ways that they show up in their life to prevent themselves from experiencing those um, intuitive feelings and following through with them. So when we understand some of these things that we do, now we have the awareness and the knowledge as to what is next for us, okay, and how we could proceed forward. So, we talked about why people ignore their intuition, but I want to touch on what are some of the consequences of ignoring your intuition, okay? You might have a missed opportunity. Okay. Sometimes ignoring your gut feelings can result in a missed chance that might have led to personal or professional growth, better relationships, or even positive outcomes. Another thing, consequence of ignoring your intuition may be regret. It's like we all had those experiences where we wish we did something different, we ignored it, or we knew that we should have done something. Let me rephrase that. Our intuition said, go do this, and we chose to ignore it. And then after the fact, we wish we didn't ignore it and did what our intuition originally said. So, we have regret. There might be increased stress and anxiety with that. When we are constantly second guessing ourselves, it's and not trusting your instincts, we create somatic and anxiety ridden type of situations for ourselves. So, a big clue for a lot of people is that if you're experiencing stress or anxiety around like your intuition, I think it's really a good idea to go back to being in your body and trusting the information that you're getting, because when we start doubting that, that's where the stress and the anxiety comes in. So that's a clue right there. And, sometimes too, when we ignore our intuition, it affects our confidence. When we repeatedly ignore our intuition, it could erode your self trust, self confidence, and your self esteem as well, and making it harder for you to make decisions in the future. because it's like you don't know if this is real or this is Memorex, or because you're not grounded in your body, so you could receive that information. So we're getting ready to go on our first break, and you've been listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking about trust your gut today. See you when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. We're talking about trusting your gut, intuitive decision strategies. And, in our first, just to recap our first segment, we were talking about why people ignore their intuition and what are the consequences of ignoring your intuition. And as we were talking about your intuition, what you call your gut feelings, your spidey sense, that, intuitive sense, that God spark, whatever that is, it's basically your inner wisdom that's attempting to communicate with you. But are you brave enough to step into your body and listen to that and follow its lead? Stay tuned here. We're going to talk more about that. So, when we were talking about some of the consequences of ignoring your intuition, and we talked about missed opportunities, we have regret, stress and anxiety, lowered self-confidence and self-esteem, and unfulfilling decisions. And a lot of times, you might even have strained relationships because ignoring your gut feelings in interpersonal situations can lead to you not wanting to listen to those red flags that you get sometimes in situations. And many of us have been in situations where we just something feels off, but we want to give them the benefit of the doubt or whatever. And sometimes that's okay to do, but it's like sometimes they're like yellow flags that are converting to red flags. So another thing too, when you ignore your intuition, you there's in we lay I don't like increased mistakes. They're learning opportunities, but it allows you to look at some of our previous experiences and subconscious presettings and ignoring those gut feelings and stuff like that sometimes could lead to more issues. It's like ignoring the red flags. And sometimes when we are so focused on trying to control things and manipulate things in our world to make things work for us, newsflash, big illusion, it actually reduces our ability to be creative because we're spending so much energy I want to give the impression of playing whack-a-mole at the fair. For many people who've gone to fairs, there's this game where the mole comes up and you have a hammer in both hands and you're whacking the mole as it comes up. It's very reactive and it's trying to control. You do that for a while, you get tired and you get stressed out because it's a superficial um, fix for something that needs deeper, I want to say deeper comprehension, understanding, and healing. It's like a band-aid to putting on a wound superficially, so the wound will go away. But when we rip the band-aid off, the wound is still there and it's still doing it's like a repeating pattern. Another thing that happens is a lot of times we have an emotional disconnection when we're constantly ignoring that wisdom that's coming within us. It's like we disconnect ourselves from our body and our innate wisdom. So our emotions, we stop the flow of experiencing our emotions. And I know a lot of people feel that emotions, they just don't want to dip their toe into the pool of emotion because they're afraid of what they're going to experience. And they're afraid that it's like Pandora's box. The lid's going to fly open and you're never going to be able to get it shut. But I have news for you. This is not true. That is our fear overcompensating for what is truly there. Emotions are a necessity for people to experience. It actually allows us to gain wisdom as being a human being. Did you know that? When you have a body, this is how you're able to experience your emotions. You need to have a physical body. When we ignore our emotions, we disconnect from our physical body and basically go into our head where we're trying to figure things out, analyze it, control it, manipulate it, maybe suppress it. It's all energy. And if that energy is not experienced, it has to go someplace. And over a lifetime of not experiencing your emotions, they get trapped in your physical body because it's emotion, it's energy. So when you're able to be in your physical body, be with what is happening right here, right now, experience your emotions, you're able to take a step into that bubble of energy, which is the emotion. You take a step in and you're experiencing that. You're witnessing it, not maybe becoming it and getting stuck in it, but allowing yourself to see and experience what it is. And by the time that you are done sitting with that, you're actually taking another step and you're on the outside of that energy bubble and it actually dissipates and comes to neutrality. So it doesn't affect you as much. And a lot of times, once you experience that thing, the energy of it dissipates. It's where we try to control it, keep it at bay, and not experience it. This is where it causes a lot of stress and anxiety, and it exhausts you, and you lose your creativity. So don't do that. Feel free to embrace your emotions and experience away. I believe that you will gain the richness and create more real estate in your mind, body, and soul so you could create the life that you truly want. So, another thing that causes people to ignore, what happens when you ignore your intuition, you get cognitive overload. And I think I just kind of explained what that is. It's like your mind is trying to control and keep things at bay, and it's just a real over expenditure of energy. So when you recognize and integrate intuition into decision making in your life, you could mitigate a lot of the consequences and have a more balanced, confident, and fulfilling outcome. So, the other thing that I want to talk about is like a lot of people say, well, how do you develop your intuition and trust your gut? And for many people, that is a real conundrum and a real, it's kind of challenging for them to wrap their mind around that. But I'm going to try to give you some simple steps in regards to this because I think it's extremely doable. It's like breaking it down to smaller pieces so you're not in massive overwhelm because I think many people, think the whole idea of the concept and it just is so overwhelming and we want to break it down to, smaller bite-sized pieces. So we want to make sure that you're able to do this without feeling like, oh my God, this is just like I'm going into overwhelm, or it's like la 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 la, I can't listen anymore. I heard the first three words and I'm an overload. Anyway, so take a deep breath right now. So self-awareness is one of the most important things to create for yourself so you could be more in tune with your body and your inner wisdom. Self-awareness is about being able to know that something is different or, catching your attention or you're curious about, and not judging or criticizing it, but just being aware of what is happening. It allows you to make a better decision, but it also allows you to take into consideration everything else that's in your environment along with you. Because remember, people might say it's all about you, and it's all about you being aware. Okay. So reflect regularly, spend time reflecting on your thoughts and feelings. Sometimes journaling is a good way to do that, to understand yourself better. And, any type of mindful activity, we talk a lot about that on the Dr. Dolores Show because mindful activity is what is going to allow you to access your inner wisdom. Mindful activity is what keeps you in your physical body. And just an example of what mindful activity is for those who don't know what that is, it's anything that allows you to lose all sense of time and place. And we've all had those moments where you get like caught up in reading a book and hours go by, or maybe you're doing something creative and hours go by. It's like timeless thing where, you have no sense of time at all, where you get lost, if you want to say that. Another way to develop and trust your gut is gather your experiences. Learn from your past decisions. Did you make them because you had that spiny sense and you chose to ignore and you made a different decision than what the information you're getting? So just take a personal inventory of, things that we've labeled as mistakes. I don't believe there's mistakes. They're educational opportunities. So we could gather information and become wiser so we could become a better version of ourselves. So gather, that information without judging or criticizing yourself, and expose yourself to a variety of situations in the future. And the more experiences you have, the better your intuition will be. Listen to your body. Big important thing. Yes, you have to be in your body to listen to your body. Newsflash. Pay attention to your physical sensations. Your intuition often manifests as a physical sensation, like a gut feeling or a sense of unease or feeling of excitement. Body scanning is really important too. You can learn how to do that and just check in with your body going from head to toe and just to feel where something is feeling a little more um, uh, apparent versus, not there. Sometimes if there's a void someplace, there might be something else going on. And, trust and validate. Begin by trusting your gut on small decisions. And as you start seeing the positive results, you'll build confidence in your intuition. So, we're going to be going on to our next break already, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and we're talking about trust your gut today on the Dr. Dolores Show. So, stay tuned and we'll carry on. And when we return, we're going to do a guided meditation to allow you to embrace your intuition a little easier. Does that sound like a plan? You betcha. See you when we come back.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about trusting your gut, really starting to listen to that intuitive ability that we all have innately. And, before, the last break, we were talking about how to develop your intuition and trust your gut. And we talked about, self-awareness, gathering experiences and learning from our previous experience, taking an inventory of when we knew we should have done something and we chose not to listen to that and the consequences, and not to beat yourself up to as a review, but just to gain wisdom as to where this is probably happening for you. About listening to your body. Your body is a barometer for your intuition. Sometimes we have a spiny sense or we have that gut feeling that something's off. Trust it because it's usually 100% accurate. It's about trusting and validating the information that we're getting. And if possible, just take baby steps. Just start with simple things. Embrace your uncertainty. Embracing your uncertainty is huge because the only thing in life is certain is uncertainty. I know that sounds like a little cliche type of thing, but it's the truth. When you are able to start exercising your inner trust muscle, you're going to be able to have more certainty in your life for you. And that's all that really matters right now. It's not certainty for everything else that's going around in collective consciousness, but for you. It's about educating yourself and look at topics related to intuition because there are many things out there. And this is where you're going to need to trust your intuition. If what you're reading is really resonating with you, then it's the right thing. Trust what you're feeling. Okay. If it doesn't, you know what? It doesn't resonate with you. So that's not your material. Okay. And then actually surround yourself with people who are really good at trusting their intuition. I know I help people a lot on their journey because it's about teaching people how to rely on that wisdom and insight that they're getting within, not for somebody validating it for them on the external and giving them the information. It's about teaching people how to do this for themselves so they could be the best person that they want to be within their self as well. Practice patience, and I know for a lot of people patience is a big, it's a problem, and I'm guilty here too. Sometimes I could be extremely impatient, and it's been a lifelong journey for me to allow myself the grace to know that everything is happening the way it's supposed to, and not on my terms, but on a bigger picture in the universe's terms, divine will, if you want to call that. Create a supportive environment. Surround yourself with people who are like minded, who carry and share your same values. Sometimes, as we evolve and start opening ourselves to things, things are going to change in our outside world. Relationships may fall away, but allows the space for new relationships to come in that are more aligned with who we are as we are growing and evolving and ascending. It's not a good thing, a bad thing. It's just how it happens. I think that the situation that creates some angst for a lot of people is that we are afraid to let go of what is familiar and really challenged by allowing what we cannot see, okay, tangibly. So this is a time of having complete and blind faith and trust. So, and the other thing too, for those who are very cerebral, it's about merging your head with your body, your heart with your mind, because we have a mind brain, a heart brain, and a gut brain. The three of them need to learn how to play nicely together and integrate. So you're able to balance between intuition, analysis, and logic, but also to know what is the right thing for you, not your neighbor, not your spouse, not your kids, but for you in the moment. So by incorporating these practices and starting to develop them, you just take baby steps and you move more and more in the direction. And over time, you're going to find that your intuition and your ability to trust yourself is going to become heightened, but also more of the norm than the the outlier. Okay. So the more you come within, the more certain you're gonna have more certainty, and you're gonna be able to be right here, right now. So as I promised, let's talk about doing a guided meditation that's going to allow you to connect with your innate intuitive wisdom. So this is a 5-minute guided meditation, and it's going to help you connect with your innate intuitive wisdom. So I just invite you to find a comfortable and quiet space where you won't be disturbed, and sit or lie down in a relaxed position, and we're going to begin. So I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Let go of any tension in your body. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel yourself becoming more relaxed and centered. Focus on your breath, allowing each inhale and exhale to calm your mind and body. Imagine roots extending from the base of your spine or the soles of your feet, reaching deep into the earth. Feel these roots anchoring you, providing stability and connection to the grounding energy of the earth. With each breath, feel this grounding energy rising up through your roots, filling your body with a sense of stability and peace. Now bring your awareness to your heart center, the space in the middle of your chest. Imagine a warm, glowing light here. With each breath, see this light growing brighter, filling your chest with warmth and love. This is the center of your intuition and inner wisdom. Feel the connection between your heart and your mind, allowing them to communicate freely. As you continue to breathe deeply, set the intention to connect with your intuitive wisdom. Silently repeat to yourself, I trust my intuition. I am open to my inner wisdom. Allow any thoughts, images, or feelings to arise naturally without judgment or criticism. Just to allow them to be as they are. Trust that your intuition is speaking to you in its unique way. Now, ask yourself a question that you seek guidance on. It can be something simple or a more significant concern. Pose the question in your mind and remain open to whatever comes. You may receive an image, a word, a feeling, or a sense of knowing. Trust whatever arises, knowing that it is a message from your intuitive self. Now take one more deep breath in and slowly exhale. Begin to bring your awareness back to your surroundings. Wiggle your fingers and toes and gently stretch your body. When you're ready, open your eyes. Carry this sense of connection with your intuitive wisdom with you throughout the day. So thank you for joining this meditation, and remember, your intuition is always with you, ready to guide you whenever you need it. So do I have everybody back? Awesome. Trusting your intuition will change your life in many amazing ways. It will build your confidence, allow you to stand in your power, and maybe even take your power back that maybe you've given away to others in another time and place. And really what it's about right now in humanity's evolution is to take our power back and remember that we're sovereign beings and our innate wisdom is sovereign to us. And we have every right to be here, right now, to live life on our terms. It's all a choice. We need to choose to allow ourselves to experience the greatness that waits for us. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're learning how to trust our gut today with intuitive decision strategies. Stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll wrap it up.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we've been talking about trusting your gut and intuitive decision strategies today on our episode. But before we carry on any further, I want to share some news that I'm so excited to share with you people, is that myself and my partner, Cozy Stankitis, are putting together a monthly membership, which is launching August 2024, which is right around the corner. And it's called I'm Awake, Now What? And what this is all about, it's about offering support, insight, and tools to assist you on your awakening experience. And I invite you to join us. We're going to be meeting once a month on a Zoom, and you're going to have, when you join, you have access to the recording of that Zoom call, but also you're going to have access to a community, but also the tips and tools that we're going to supply for you that are going to make your journey to ascension much better and much easier than trying to navigate it without any reference point. So go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com/I'm awake new what. Now what? Excuse me. You'll see it when you go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com. It's right up in the far right corner, and you could click on that and you could get more information about that program. We would love to have you. So circling back to our topic today, I just want to share some words of wisdom about trusting your gut and your intuition. Trust yourself. Your intuition is a reflection of your accumulated knowledge and experiences. Believe in its ability to guide you through complete situations. Stay present. Be mindful and present helps you tune into your intuition more clearly. That means stay in your body, okay? You need to be in your body in order to access that. Take moments throughout your day to pause, breathe, and listen to your inner voice. Sometimes you have to be in your body to quiet the chitter chatter so you could hear what is actually saying. And it might be such a subtle inkling voice, not a ba-ba, or maybe it could be a ba-ba, but it's usually subtle. Embrace balance. Use a combination of intuitive insight and analytic thinking to make well-minded decisions. It's trusting the mind brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain, okay? All those need to work in alignment and be friends with each other. Play nicely in the sandbox with all those things. Reflect and learn. Regularly reflect on your decisions and your outcomes, and practice not only the strengths your intuition strengthens your intuition, but also helps you to learn and grow from each experience. Remember, it's not a bad thing, a good thing. It is just what is necessary. Okay. Be open and flexible. Intuition thrives in a state of openness and flexibility. Stay open to new information and be willing to adapt as needed. So just picture yourself as being a willow, just flowing in the breeze and bending where it needs to bend instead of like an oak tree where you bend and you snap. You need the flexibility, and you need to be able to be flexible as you charter your life's journey, because there's going to be some bumps in the road and you need to be able to maybe step over it or move around it, but it's all good. Nurture your inner wisdom. Spend time in activities that nurture your soul, such as meditation, nature walks, creative pursuits. These practices help deepen your connection with your inner wisdom. And remember, the journey, the journey to mastering intuitive decision making is ongoing. It's not a one or done, it's a journey, it's not a destination. I think this visual really helped people in really driving this home. Too often we see a rainbow and we want to go to the end of the rainbow to get this pot of gold. But did you know that when you take steps on the rainbow, you're collecting your gold nuggets? So you have your pot of gold by the time you get to the end of the rainbow. Something to think about. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the moments when your intuition leads you to positive outcomes. Your inner wisdom is always there, ready to guide you on your path. So, we covered quite a bit today on the Dr. Dolores Show, and I hope this inspires you to want to lean into looking at and even experiencing your intuition and your intuitive abilities. Once you start embracing that capability within yourself, it allows it to expand to more and more and more, where you're going to just know without, a doubt in your mind that this is what is the correct thing for you. And people will say, well, how do you know? You just know. So when you could say, I just know, this is like you trust what you're getting completely, and you honor, accept, appreciate, and respect that. These are all aspects that we give to ourselves and need to give to ourselves, but also our intuition is part of who we are. So it's embracing an aspect of who you are and allowing yourself to befriend that, so it becomes your inner barometer, your North Star, your beacon on a foggy shore. It's going to allow you to create way more certainty in your life than you probably have ever experienced. So I invite you to take those steps to move forward. And I'm going to leave you with this quote by Dean Koontz. Intuition is seeing with the soul. So when you're able to tap into your intuition, your soul is witnessing what is going on, and you are able to tap into that wisdom and become a friend and befriend that aspect of yourself. So next week, I'm going to actually be on the road. I'm going to be in South Dakota, visiting all the little special places outside of Rapid City, and going to visit the homeland of the White Buffalo Calf Woman, which I'm very excited to do. She's my fairy godmother. I didn't know if you knew that, but she is. So next week, we're talking about whispers of wisdom, sacred spaces in nature. And there's many beautiful places on our universe and our world where there is such a resonance and a deep, profound essence that the ethereal realms of the natural world come through and allow us to have a taste and experience what that is. So stay tuned next week for next week. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week and know that you are loved, valued, and appreciated. Stay tuned. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.